Curtis Calhoun here with MMA News, and right now I'm joined by one of the top middleweights in Bellator. It's Aaron Jeffery, who's at number 6 in the rankings, coming off a big win over Austin Vanderford at Bellator 284. How's it going, Aaron?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks again for the time. Really do appreciate it. First things first, you just signed a new multi-fight deal with Bellator. Obviously, that's going to feel good. Just kind of talk a little bit about that and how good it feels to be valued.
Yeah, man. It's been a long time coming, and I feel like I'm finally making money in the sport. You know, like the regional scene, we really don't make much money at all. And then even amateur days before that, making literally no money at all. So 10 years later, and I'm finally able to support myself, man. It feels good.
And you're a full-time fighter, right? Or do you have any side gigs or anything like that?
So I'm a nutritionist, and I have like a nutrition consulting gig that I do on the side, but that's not making me much money either.
I got you, man. It's got to feel good to have that financial security now, huh?
Absolutely.
That's awesome, man. Just kind of talk to me about what these past few weeks have been like. Obviously, you got that big win over Austin Vanderford. A lot of attention on you now. Just kind of talk about the last few weeks and just kind of recap your performance.
Yeah, it's been a whirlwind, man. Between like the fight was a maybe, it was potential. We didn't know if it was going to happen. I was like kind of training for him, but nothing was really set in stone. A couple days later, we get a contract. It's happening, and then they're already like booking me flights, booking my hotel, and flying out there. It's fight week. There's media. There's weigh-ins. Then obviously fight night, big performance. Social media blows up. Million interviews going on the Ariel Helwani show. Then a few days later, signing a contract. So I haven't had any time to chill, man. Even this week's been pretty busy with interviews too. So yeah, a whirlwind to say the least.
Yeah, definitely understandable, man. And how much of a confidence booster is it for you specifically to get a win off of a tough guy like Austin on short notice?
Yeah, it's huge, man. I think every fight just adds to a fighter's confidence, right? Like even my debut fight, to go out there against a guy with like a solid record, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. He already had a few Bellator fights, and get like a nice TKO over him, and then to fight number 2 in the rankings and get like a quick knockout there too. Yeah, man, I'm feeling good, definitely confident.
And obviously, you didn't have a ton of time to prepare for this one. Were you expecting this one to be kind of a grind? Obviously, he's a tough wrestler. Was the fight kind of what you expected? And kind of take me through that knockout sequence.
Yeah, so I definitely expected a grind. He's obviously a really good wrestler. Like I said, I put in a few training sessions specifically for him, but nothing like not too much. Like a couple hours of work specifically for Austin Vanderford, and it was like defending shots, building back up from the bottom, a lot of defensive wrestling. I knew that I could strike with him. I just didn't expect it to be a quick knockout like that.
Yeah, I definitely understand. And you're on this winning streak now. Just kind of talk to me a little bit about some of the things you've learned about yourself through this winning streak, going back to your second Contender Series fight and just what the whole process has been like for you.
Well, yeah, the Contender Series fight was tough, man. Losing a decision, obviously, like I had a tough opponent. And then after that, it was like back to the drawing board. I thought that was my time. I thought I was going to be in the UFC, signed to a big promotion. It didn't happen. Then I'm fighting for CFFC and kind of like working my way back up, right? So yeah, again, like coming off 2 nice TKOs in a big promotion, eyes on me, finally making a name for myself. It feels good.
And through the trials and tribulations of suffering that decision loss, how are you mentally able to cope with that and move forward and just kind of show that you don't give up?
Yeah, I've said this a lot in interviews too. Like I'm a pretty even keel guy. I don't get like super high on my highs. I don't get super low on my lows. Like that's the nature of the sport that you're in. You're gonna win and you're gonna lose, and sometimes you're gonna have nice quick knockouts, and sometimes you're gonna be the one getting knocked out. So I think it's something that you have to accept that these things are going to happen, and you just got to move past it.
And you mentioned kind of the added attention now. Are you starting to get the recognition in Tillsonburg, Ontario?
They finally wrote an article about me in the newspaper, and it was kind of funny because what I told the interviewer was that there's all these articles coming out mentioning Paige Van Zandt and Austin Vanderford, but some of them don't even have my name. And this is actually what he wrote for the headline, was like Paige Van Zandt's boyfriend gets knocked out. I'm like, come on, dude, that's exactly what I was complaining about.
Right. Oh my gosh, that's funny. I want to talk a little bit about your team as well. Anthony Romero, obviously a guy that's been getting a lot of buzz going back to his Contender Series fight in 2020. How good is he? Kind of give us an insight into his potential in the sport.
And he's great. I think he's world class. I think he should be in one of the big promotions now. I think he should have been in one of the big promotions a long time ago. I think he can probably beat any lightweight on this planet. And it sucks that no one's picking him up right now, but I think his time's going to come. He's still super young. I think he'll get picked up soon enough.
And obviously, I don't know how much insight you have, but have there been any talks to bring him to Bellator or anything like that?
I don't know. No, I don't know. I know a lot of the guys at my gym work with the same management as me, so I kind of have inside scoop, but not with Romero.
Mm-hmm. I got you, man. And obviously, I got to ask you a little bit about another fellow Canadian, Rory MacDonald, retiring. Obviously, a really big story in the sport right now. Just kind of give me your thoughts on that and just kind of overall his legacy in the sport.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy for me because when I started watching, he was like a young kid. I think he might have been like 19, 20 years old, and he was like on his way up. So to see him retiring now, it kind of makes me realize like I'm in my prime right now. I'm used to being the young guy in the gym and people telling me like I got a whole career in front of me, and now I'm not the young guy anymore. So kind of makes me realize that. But yeah, what a career, man. Of course, like he's going to be one of the all-time Canadian greats. He's a legend.
Yeah, when you talk about Canadian MMA fighters, I feel like the first name you mentioned is George St. Pierre, right? So I feel like just kind of talk about how important it was watching Rory while you were growing up and how he kind of influenced you to get into MMA.
Yeah, for sure, man. Like these are the guys you look up to when you're young, like them being countrymen, and like they train in Montreal, which is like not too far from me. I knew people that trained with them, so it's like it gives you hope that you can do it too. Like it's not they're not superheroes like you see like a LeBron James or like a Wayne Gretzky, and like you don't know anything about them, but these guys are like kind of local guys. So yeah, it gives you hope as a young kid that you can do that too.
Absolutely, man. And you mentioned a little bit there, but you haven't had really a lot of time to relax since the Austin Vanderford fight. What do you like to do to relax and de-stress when you need to get your mind off things and kind of just de-stress a little bit?
Not much, man. Nothing special. My mom lives like a couple hours from here in like a rural town. Like she lives on a big farm. Me and my girlfriend go there every weekend and just like lounge, man. Not much. She's got a sauna. I sit in the sauna. I eat some home cooked food and I nap and really just slug.
Hey, that sounds nice, man. That's awesome. And then last question for me. What do you feel like is your time frame for a return right now? Obviously, you're just fresh off of this fight with Austin Vanderford. Are you looking for one or two fights by the end of the year? Has there been any talks of a potential opponent or anything like that?
Not to my knowledge. I don't know what management has in mind or Bellator. I know there's a card in California in October, which is kind of soon, but like we'll see who the opponent is and if it makes sense. And then I think they're back at the Mohegan Sun in December, which could be good too.
I got you, man. Well, before we wrap things up here, I'll give you the final word to shout out any sponsors you have, shout out your team, family, friends, all that good stuff. I'll give you the final word.
Thanks, man. Yeah, Niagara Top Team, Aegis MMA, both two solid gyms in Southern Ontario. Check them out if you're around. And then check me out social media at AAJ MMA.
Awesome, man. Well, Aaron, I appreciate the time. I know you got a lot going on right now with these last couple weeks. Always great chatting with you, and I'm sure we'll chat again soon, man. Thank you so much.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate it.